performed the way that they've hoped to, I would say, and both of them will win for the first time for their programs, which is really special.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind, presented by our good friends at Specs here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. David Nuño here the day before the College World Series finals begin here, and the Aggies are in it, Tennessee's in it, and we talked all about it. Cade, what'd you learn on the show today?
Well, I learned that the Tennessee pitching staff is really good at not giving up walks, and so the A&M will have to be even more patient than usual.
Dawson, what'd you learn?
I learned that there's going to be a maroon tidal wave headed to Omaha.
Yeah, there was a lot of text messages about that. Cade, tell the people what we had on the program today.
We had the Go Hour with OB. We had Dani Wexelman, sideline reporter, ESPN. She's been on the scene there at Omaha. And then Baseball Bunch, and then Billy Liucci to close it out.
It was a fun one. You need to check it right now. It's a TexAgs Rewind. Give me 3 things that you would like to see this weekend.
Well, win, and win, right?
1, 2, and 3.
I guess I'd only need 2. I want to see the pitching remain at the level it's been, right? Golly, it's been. With the exception...
By the way, ours 3 is going to be the same, by the way.
I'm sure. With the exception of Cortez going out one time and struggling to find the strike zone, but they only gave him 7 pitches. He might have worked his way out of it. We've seen that. But the pitching's been spectacular. And you know what? I want to see Cortez be, back on track.
I'd like to see that too.
Yeah.
I would really like to see that.
I want to see.
They're going to need him back on track based on, we don't know who's going to go game 1 or 2, but Lampkin's probably not going game 1 or 2.
No, they're probably saving him for Monday if it comes to that, because just for rest.
Sure.
I would assume that Prager's going
4 days rest.
I would assume that, but
yep. But you never know.
I was assuming that he would pitch the first game in the College World Series, and he didn't.
So, Danny, when I'm preparing for these series, I look at teams. I say, all right, this is where they could be vulnerable. This is where A&M can get them. I look at Tennessee, excellent pitching, the best offense, 5 guys with 20 home runs. Where are they vulnerable? Are they?
As the best team, you think? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I'm just saying, is Tennessee, where are they vulnerable?
They're 1 and 2. If you look statistically at their numbers, it's actually really terrifying, guys. If you look at the offense, right, and what they've been able to produce, getting on base, the power, the walks, the average, everything about it, they are 1 and 2 in this field of 8 in Omaha, which is really scary. I think what's ironic, though, is while you see Texas A&M, who loves to walk, they lead the pack in walking. Tennessee's pitching staff has given up the fewest walks. So there are all these little nuances that you're going to see when it comes to the power of Tennessee, right? And Texas A&M, and they're dominating the zone, right? They do a really good job of not giving up free passes, of limiting the long ball. Max Wiener has done a really great job of that in his first season. And so they are 1 and 2 in every aspect of the game. And they're here, I think, with a little chip on their shoulder. They haven't performed the way that they've hoped to, I would say, and both of them will win for the first time for their programs, which is really special.
In covering it this last week, is there anything about Texas A&M that surprised you or that really made an impression on you about that team or any individuals or anything like that?
I mean, if you're looking at a team that is down for the count right now and finding ways to win, that's what I have circled in red pen. It's miraculous. That's the word that I would say for what they've been able to accomplish without Braden Montgomery, without Sato. And now you have Jace Laviolette, who's dealing with his hamstring and still grinding it out and finding a way. So yes, Caden Kent, I think, is the guy that I've been absolutely looking at as the dude who's been able to step up. He's waited his turn. He's been patient. I talked to him about that. I know you guys have talked about that as well. That sometimes you don't get what you want when you get to college and you think you're the top dog and you've got that last name maybe. And so you hope to be able to contribute and you've got to wait. And that stinks. That's not fun for a kid, but you get to Omaha and now you're shining and now you're a really important and impactful piece to this lineup and to your field. That's a big deal to me. So I think it's a testament to the staff. Stagel and giving his kids the confidence. Max as well, the difference in their pitching staffs this season, another shutout on their belt. They lead the nation in shutouts, and that's not a coincidence. That's a testament to what he's done, the confidence he's given to their kids. And so for them to be able to get to this point with the injuries they've sustained to some of their best guys. Oh, and by the way, Chris Cortez maybe not being as sharp as they would hope, they still have the depth to get it done.
Let's talk about when you guys knew, okay? Like Bronny, Scotty, when did you know? There we go, Scotty. When did you know that this team not only had the potential to get to the finals in Omaha, but would likely get to the finals in Omaha? Like you were kind of banking on it, if you will.
I can say that for me, to get to the final, it didn't happen until probably maybe the win over Kentucky. Like it because of the injuries, right? Like if you would have told me that this team was coming to Omaha fully loaded, then I would have anticipated that A&M team at full strength to get to the finals. But just all the question marks because of the injuries, and then obviously Jace's now hamstring issue. Like it was just tough for me to go, okay, like, you know, how long can this run continue with just this overwhelming adversity facing this club? Coming out of that super regional, and they've answered the questions, man. Every time that somebody has been asked to step up, they have in a big way. And that's why this team is like, it's so much more than the individuals now. And we know that, and we've known that for the entirety of the year, but that's what's come to the forefront, I think, over the last 10, 14 days.
Scotty?
Well, I think that I'm watching the Kentucky-Florida game and the way the park was playing large. I thought that I wanted to see more pitching used by Florida. That gave me a pause when they really didn't have to go deep into their bullpen because I wanted A&M to have the advantage of being the 2-0 team. I think we learned a couple of years ago when we were here playing Oklahoma is that an A&M team that was playing pretty good ball. All of a sudden had an issue playing Oklahoma the second time. So I think that is an advantage. A&M was able to take control of it. I thought that first inning when you're getting on what is, their best starter the second half of the season and being able to control that ball game and get the 1-0 lead, excuse me, especially the way they were, commanding the strike zone. I thought that was going to lead to a pretty good day. And, because I thought that eventually if they were going to struggle with this guy, when you could get into their bullpen, you were going to have the kind of success offensively. And I thought the first game, A&M hit some balls hard that didn't, that Florida being a premier defensive team made some plays. They did that in the outfield in the last game. But, A&M has had a good ability to hit the ball against Florida. Especially up here. And, I thought that after that first inning, A&M was going to be sitting in the –
Billy, follow me here because I look at what's happening with baseball as a precursor to what could happen in football. And the reason I say that is forever we've said you get the right guy in there, national championships are going to happen. And we're seeing that with baseball, that knocking on the door 2 wins away from a national championship because they got the right guy and the right staff behind him. And we've been hoping for that in football, and I'm hoping this could be a precursor to what we see on the football side.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and I do think it's harder in football. I think it's hard. Winning a national championship in baseball might be the hardest. Well, yeah, it might be the hardest, actually. I think if you went through all three of the sports and you said best team winning it or playing for it. Best couple teams playing for it, best team. Baseball might be the least frequent we see that. There's nothing more than the fact that Tennessee's trying to be the first number 1 overall seed since when to win it? 20 years or something like that? It's something wild. I think it's like 20 years. But so it's not about winning. It might be the hardest for the best teams in baseball, but there's a quicker path, I think, in baseball and basketball to get there through the portal these days because you just have smaller teams. And in baseball, you go get Paul Steen and it changes everything for weekend series, for super regionals to pitch them twice in Omaha. You know, it changes everything. So, but football, yeah, it's about hiring the right guy. And it's about hiring a guy that the way he runs his program every day, the way he disciplines his athletes, and even the culture he creates for his athletes and coaches every single day, the way the plan for the portal, the plan for recruiting, the plan for roster building and management.
Let's close it out.
Well, you got to like.
I haven't asked you.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Wait. I was maybe going to ask you something different, Dawson.
Oh, well, that's the pause there kind of was indicating like, oh, I needed to do something there. Like, I don't know.
So if I were going to ask you that question, what would I ask you?
Well, you'd probably ask me, what are you going to tell the people to do?
And what would you tell them to do then?
I would probably tell them to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Kind of everyone that they know.
Cade, you know I had another question for him, right? But he wanted to steal the spotlight. You know that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he loves to do that.
I was going to ask you what Pythagorean theorem is times 5.
Oh, man. I don't know if I can do the math right now.
That's why I asked him.
Yeah.
5a squared plus 5b squared equals 5c squared.
All right, I don't want to talk anymore. We'll see you next time. Gig 'em.